The PL Show is brought to you by Kel Chaco, Kel 360, and Kel Kids Toothpaste. Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of the Kel Toothpaste PL Show. Well, today's show, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a show I have been looking forward to, and I bet you would enjoy it as well. I'll take you out of your misery right now and shortly tell you about my guest for today. My guest is feisty, she's passionate, she's self-driven. When we talk about strength, she's there. When we talk about being phenomenal, she's there. I know you can't wait for me to introduce my guest. Let's welcome to the PL Show, COP, Mrs. Maame Yaa Tiwaa Addo-Danquah. I think I should hear the applause from wherever you are at this point. Let's welcome her to the PL Show today. Welcome, ma'am. Please come with me and then let's, chit-chat a bit before we go for the break. Okay. I hope you're doing well.
I'm fine, thank you.
How is it that you keep up this way? Hey, Charlie, we are struggling. The beauty, everything is like age is not, has nothing on you.
Yeah, I have a friend who is a medical doctor, and of course my son is also a doctor, and what they tell me is that I should keep walking, exercise. That is the best medicine. So that is what I do, and I thank Dr. Helen Tete for that inspiration, that don't do anything much, just walk every day. Try to walk at least 30 minutes, walk, and that is my weapon.
And the conversation has started already. Well, let me keep it and then we go for a quick break. When we return, we'll get talking on the Phenomenal Lady Show. This is the Kel Toothpaste PL Show. I am Maame Yaa, and my guest, Mrs. Maame Yaa Addo-Danquah, is my guest. Please, we'll get talking shortly. Please have a seat, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mommy. Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Chaco Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chaco Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Chaco Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to the Kel Toothpaste PL Show, and I was hoping this break will be the shortest ever because I can't wait to get talking with Commissioner of Police. She's a Commissioner of Police, COP, and she's also the Executive Director of the Economic and Organized Crime Office. That's EOCO. That's her latest position, but she's done it all, been through it all. But I'll leave her to tell us the story. Mrs. Maame Yaa Tiwaa Addo-Danquah. Welcome. I'm sure you can tell the excitement in my voice.
Thank you very much.
I am starstruck as well, so we'll try and do this. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, how is it that you are so strong, yet so, you can't abadaya uobi. You can't from who you are and all that. But that's what I have noticed about you in my short engagements with you. How do you do it?
When you come from the village and you attend village school, it means you have seen it all. That is what we call rural migration, from the village to the village school. So, and I'm passionate because, like you said, I've seen it all. I know how it is if you don't have anything. And I know how it is if you have something. And I know how something small can change somebody's life. So I don't take it for granted at all. But talking about how strong I am, I believe in God, and I believe God has always been my strength. I'm a staunch Catholic. I believe in my Catholic faith, and I believe that when I pray, I go on my knees and I ask God whatever that I want. I believe God will do it for me. So sometimes when I'm in difficulty, I ask God, is it part of the whole journey? Do I have to go through this? And I know God will not let you go through anything that is beyond you. So I have the belief that whatever that I have to go through, it is still part of the process, and I will come out and I will become stronger.
Maame Yaa Tiwaa fin kwabrim na na anim so be praise ni ana.
Ah, you want me to start from there? As far back as when I was 7 years, in my small village, Banka, in Asante Achem district, I stayed in Konongo with my parents, but Banka, baby, my grandmother was, and most of the time we go on holidays there. But one day we went there, and there was this murder case. Somebody was killed in the farm, and they didn't know who did that. So almost everybody forgot about it. Then along the line, we had these two gentlemen who came to live with us. They were constantly drunk. So they stayed, they were pounding fufu for people to give them food and other things. They were farm hands, laborers and other things. Then all of a sudden they left. One left and then another also left. After about 2 weeks, then I think it was a special branch. So they came and arrested the people who actually committed the murder. And how did they do it? So when these people were there pretending to be drunk, they were never drunk. They were actually detectives who came to stay there and observed, listening to people pretending to be drunk. They were just collecting information. And at the end of the day, they were able to get the people who actually committed the murder, and they were arrested. Then at that time, at that age, I said, how did they do it? I want to be like them. But then also back in Konongo, where I used to pass to my school, they had this police rented quarters, and there was this young, beautiful policewoman. And because of her, I will always try to get there in the morning when this lady was about to set off. And she had a very nice uniform, very young, and I wanted to be like her. When I joined the police service, I tried to look for her. So I went back to Konongo police station, got the details, tried to find out. Unfortunately for me, when I found out where she was, she had died about a month ago. So I never met her, but these were the two things that motivated me.
Did you get her name?
Yes, I got her name.
Okay,
and I think she died as a chief inspector of police.
Rural migration. Inti yankum kakra. Growing up for Maame Yaa Tiwaa, let's say.
I started school at Konongo Roman Catholic primary school. My father was then education officer at Jaso. Then they changed the district from Jaso to Konongo. So we had to move to Konongo. And then that was why I started school. And the Catholic faith, where you have to go to church, that was how I became a Catholic. So growing up, one thing that I wanted to do, I don't know, at this time I just set my mind back to realize that I always wanted to do the right things. And I always try to do what is expected of me. Adia ba konso ana manage ho ye say acting.
Oh, na acting so.
Acting so e wonu pa. So me say act ye play and ye CYO. If you know Catholic Youth Organization, you be play the birth of Christ and other thing I was involved.
Now you're married, Biana.
Now I'm married, okay. But most of the time no konon where you tree in so those were the things. But I was a just happy go young girl coming up and wanted to be somebody in future.
What would you say about your growing up and I say or childhood that has actually impacted who you are today?
We were living in Konongo and my father had to travel to Nigeria. You know those days.
Yes.
So when my father, Agege, yes, when my father left, my father was a teacher, so he went to Nigeria. And so we had to move to the village with my mother. So we went to the village. We stayed in the village until I had to pass through the common entrance and go to school. And those days, the common entrance, you sit for the common entrance, the results will come, you get your letter and other thing. We had used my father's friend's address. So in the village, there was no letter going to the village. So one day, my mother traveled to Konongo and then he met this, my father's friend. He said, when your letter be how? Oh, so my mother opened the letter and it was admission letter from Bompata Secondary School. And the school had reopened 2 weeks.
And you were still here.
And I was still in the village. I had even started from 3 because I thought I wasn't taking another thing. Those days, even if my father had to send money, somebody in the we'll have to use the money to buy items in Nigeria. Come and sell the item before you can get the money. And most of the time, we never got the money. So when my brother came to the village banker, then he said, now school has reopened, it's 3 weeks, 2 weeks into the term. Then I said, I'll go. And I went to school without school uniform, without check, with nothing.
How did you cope?
I just went with just my admission letter and just enough money to pay my school fees with nothing. So I went there, reported to the senior house mistress with not even trouble, so just a bag, nothing. I said, are you sure you're coming to school? Oh, best school ni be. Wow, they Benny. Because the head mistress sent me to the house prefect that this is somebody who had just reported by her. Only So within about 2 hours, I had everything. Everybody contributed. Somebody giving me, we were using red check and green check. So somebody giving me green check, red check, the uniform. So by the next day when I was going to school, I had everything, even though I went with nothing. And that was how it started. And at that time, my father didn't even know I had gotten admission. So we had to write a letter to him. So by Christmas, he got somebody to bring the check and other. Bompata were using pink uniforms, so my father brought those materials and other things. So the next time when I was going, at least I was also somebody else.
You had come. Okay, so at what point then were you nurturing the acting role? I'll talk about that letter, that famous letter that you've written. But let's talk about
so that was where the starting point is.
Okay.
So when I went to Form 1 at Bompata Secondary School, you know, I went late, so I was a newcomer who had come. And I can tell you, I couldn't construct one sentence in English, even though I could write.
How old were you then, you remember?
I was 13.
13?
Yes.
And at that time?
I couldn't construct any simple sentence in English.
Wow.
You know, the seniors will be sending you. So go and buy food for me, go and buy this for me, another thing. And because I couldn't even say, Sister Fossey has sent me, anything that you say, yes, sister. That's what yes, sister, I could say. Yes, sister, yes, sister. So you see me carrying about 4 bowls all around me because this sister has sent me.
You can't tell the person that I've been sent already.
And it was taboo for you to speak tree there. So I didn't want to get into trouble. So as for yes, sister, I can say. So go and buy gari and bean for me, yes, sister. Yes, sister. And this one will send, go and buy jollof, yes, sister. Go and buy, yes, sister. So we have been carrying about everything. 5, yes, going to buy. Everybody was sending me. Even my own mates were sending me because I couldn't just refuse it. So we went on holidays. I told my sister what I went through. And my sister, because she attended to my elder sister, because she went to Konongo, she was good. Okay. And so I told my sister my challenge, and he said, okay, so from today, we are not going to speak vernacular in this house again. So small, then I have been sent already. I have to attend lectures. I'm going here. I have some prep assignment to do. These basic things.
You're picking it up.
I was picking it up. So when we went back, come and see me.
Wow.
I could tell you anything and I could just get away from you. I said, hey, Maame Yaa Tiwaa, now I see the light. So they called me, now I see the light. So my sister at St. Louis then, I wanted to write. Those days, this email WhatsApp thing wasn't there. So I had to write to him.
A letter.
And the sentence.
Are you telling me about that famous letter?
Yes.
The famous letter.
So the famous letter, Onyapa, and I know my sister will be listening. And her friends at St. Louis then. So to today, there's one who works at ADB, Sister Ray. She still calls me Onyapa. So I couldn't write a letter in English. So I just had Onyapa. Me de tiawe mawati asese me hu ye ewa ha. Na mi sua de pa said de ebe ya dachi me so me ni petiti. My sister still has the letter.
Wow.
And we have never forgotten about that. And now I am able to at least, I wouldn't say I am perfect, but at least when I have to speak, I can. Oh, yes. And the first time I had opportunity to speak on international platform, when I was a speaker at a conference in Czech Republic. After that, I just went to the washroom and I cried. After speaking and everybody wanted to take picture with me and other things, I just went and I couldn't hold myself. I just cried and I said, God, thank you.
Thank you. So now I see the lights and Onyapa where You're
Yes.
famous in your names, but you are fast forwarding to where we are today and more. It will take me to the Seed to Oak segment at this point, which is brought to you by the Kel Kids Toothpaste. For this makes it possible for all children to brush their teeth twice a day. It's strawberry flavored, and so it's making brushing time fun time, FDA approved. So it's a good time to bring in Seed to Oak. Then we can get talking more for Maame Yaa Tiwaa Addo-Danquah. Please stay.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel Kids Toothpaste. I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel Kids. Happy smile.
You're welcome back to the Kel Toothpaste PR show. My guest is COP Mrs. Maame Yaa Tiwaa Addo-Danquah. Inti yemfemfi baby ya end the year before you call a friend saying Seed to Oak segment. So sisi am person what me call after school. I would call police.
After O level, the same kind of situation, letters are not gotten another thing. So when the results came out, results on the buy, I wanted to go to sixth form, and I couldn't go to sixth form. So I ended up at Kumasi Polytechnic.
Was it because of the challenges at home?
Yeah, because of some of the challenges. Those days, my father couldn't send money to us, so they have to use somebody, and it was like my mother alone struggling. And remember,
8.
Yes, children that they have to take care of. I decided to go to Kumasi Polytechnic. So I went, I got admission, and I did DBS. Then those days, we had this erroneous impression that when you do DBS was a local component, and you have to do RSA. RSA was the foreign part, and that if you want to get any foreign appointment like international organization, the RSA was more recognized. So I combined the two. I did RSA and I did DBS at the same time, which I passed all of them. So when I passed, I still had the mind to join the police service. I didn't even know how. So back Konongo, one of the days when either I was going to my village or I was coming from my village. So there was this newspaper that they had used to wrap bread, and I saw the police advert in it. So when I came back, I told my father I wanted to go to, my father had come, from Nigeria, that I wanted to join the police service. And my father said, I expect you to go to university and other things. At that time, I realized how the family was struggling. So I wanted to find a shortcut. So my father said, on one condition, that I will become, if it is accounts that I wanted to be, then the ultimate aim of anybody who starts to do accounting is to become a chartered accountant. So I didn't even know I was going to do it. I promised my father that I would do it. So the day of the enlistment, I took vehicle from Konongo to Accra. And all that I knew about Accra was that police training depot was close to Achimota. So right from Konongo, I told the driver I was going to a place close to Achimota, to police depot. When we got to St. John, then it was later that I realized it was St. John that I had to get up. So I got down out of the car at St. John, and I had to walk, and I didn't know police depot. So as and when I walked, I asked, I'm going to police, oh, you, not too far walk. So I walked from St. John's to police depot. So when I got there was a queue. And then I joined the queue. It will get to your turn. They will take, in fact, the first thing that they will do is the body selection. So they will look at your body and then take your height. If you are not up to the standard, they will not even look at your certificate. So I went through that, and when I got to my turn, They were looking for 3.4 and I was 3.3 and half. I wasn't qualified, so they asked me to go and I left. I went and joined a queue again. It got to my turn and they sacked me again. And I still didn't leave. I was still waiting, standing there. So when they almost finished, there was this woman who was part of the team. And she became the very first commissioner of police, Mrs. Jane Donko. And then she said, were you not the one that we sacked you from here? I said I was. Why do you still want to be here? Why haven't you left? I said, Madam, please, I really want to be a police officer. Then he said, bring me your certificate. She looked at my certificate and she told the team members, sometimes we need to consider those with good certificates. So she allowed me to go and register and write the exams.
From the wrapping of the bread paper to joining the queue and finding
walking, don't forget about my
walking as well.
Yes.
Joining 3 queues 3 times, and then the woman now telling you to show your certificate. Do you think it was divine? I
don't even know why I also stayed, because when they sack you, will go. That I stayed, and I didn't also stay far from where they were, the secretary, where they had the tables and they're looking at people's certificate. So she said they should allow me to write the exams.
Wow.
And that was, for me, if you ask me how it started, I would say it started from there, when I was given the opportunity to write the exams. We wrote the exams, and when it came, I was number 3 on the list. So I started from the scratch. I started as a recruit. Yes, I started from the scratch, yes.
Okay.
So along the line, I went to Kumasi Polytechnic. My results came. So I had to notify them. So when I went through the interview, I told them I had finished Polytechnic and I was waiting for my results. So they took that one into consideration. So when my results came, I submitted my results and it was accepted. I did DBS, and which I passed very well. They added that one to my certificate. So by the time we passed out, I had that certificate right from the word go. That was how come I was posted to the finance office of the police. So when we passed out in April 1991, NAM conference was scheduled in September. So they kept our group to be performing duties in town so that they will use us as security for the NAM conference. So we were posted after NAM conference. And part of the duties were rotating. So some of them will go to administration, some of us will go to kitchen, armor, band, to performing, and then patrols and other things. One office that everybody dared to go there was the commanding officer's office.
Why?
I will tell you why. So he was somebody, may his soul rest in peace, Mr. Akwaduba. If you say somebody who is straight, firm, and still understands human nature, was Mr. Akwaduba. When the duty roster comes and you are at CEO's office, that week you have to pray and be fasting as well. So it came and my name was there. I didn't see it as anything. So I performed my duty the first week. The duty roster came out again on Thursday, and I was repeated.
You were there again?
Yeah, there again. And everybody was asking, hey, what did you do? Hey, why have you been sent there again? And then the third week came, my name was still there.
There was something
wrong. And I still kept my cool. So on Thursday in the morning, then the CEO came, and I was always in the office before the CEO. He asked me, have you seen the new T-Rose? I said, no, sir. He said, go and look at it. Yes, sir. So I went to the secretary. My name was there again for the 4th time.
Did you find out why?
So he was waiting for me to go and look at it and come back. So when I came, I told him, sir, my name has been a duty roster. I'm still, next week I'll be here. He said, do you know why? I said, no, sir. I said, please, did I do something wrong? He said, come. So he entered his office and I followed up. He went and he told me that all those who came there, I was the only person who had initiative, and that I will be in that office until our posting comes. And then he told me, with your attitude, if you continue your attitude, I can tell you, you go far in the police service. All that, the man, everybody feared him. So I said, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Before you finish, you can have said yes, sir, 10 times. He said, please, is there something that I did that you saw that made you think I could go fast so that I can improve upon it? He said, you are punctual and you don't wait for you to be told when you know something has to be done. I said, thank you, sir. I stayed in that office until our posting came, and then I was posted to the police office. So when I passed out from police academy and I was best cadet. The last time I
were
saw
the
him,
best cadet?
yes, the last time I saw him, I was Director General CID, and he was coming from the hospital. He specifically requested to see me. So I came down to the car park, I saw him, and then he said, now I can die in peace. I've seen you as CID, the first woman to become CID boss, and I'm happy. But still, you must keep up with your good attitude, and God will take you to places. So I thank you. And I think he died barely 2 weeks after. May his soul, Mr. Kwaduba, may his soul continue to rest in peace.
That's so emotive. But you had this award also, International Association of Women Police Award in Leadership.
Yeah.
At some point. You recall how you were able to get that award?
I was there one day when I had an email that I've been shortlisted as to compete for the leadership award. I said, I've not applied. So I went to read the whole thing, and I realized that somebody has to nominate you.
Okay.
So the then IGP, Mr. Opombwenu, nominated me for the leadership award.
Okay.
So I think they had a lot of entries for that particular year. So we're shortlisted, and now they want to hear from you. Those things that the person who nominated you said, they want to find out from you how, whether they were true or a whole lot of things. So that was when I got to know. So they will ask you a series of questions, and then that was it. So I was there when it came out that I've won the award.
Wow.
That is 2021 International Association of Women Police Leadership Award. At that time, I was in charge of welfare. When he was IGP, I was in charge of welfare. And then we had the COVID. We had COVID, and I was the chair of the Ghana Police Service COVID-19 Technical Committee. I was the chair with the doctors and all those things. In fact, the very first person who had COVID was from Upper East Region. So when we had
Okay, so you're just giving away my surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the former IGP of Ghana.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Wow. How long he's been waiting to be here for you.
No, this is a surprise.
This is amazing.
Wow.
And it's a surprise, and I'm happy. That's why I led you on to that place.
Wow.
And
this is a surprise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us on the PO show.